This is from my novel, my finished novel, Where the Jersey Devil Lives. And I just chose this. It's just a few pages, and I just wanted to find something that I hadn't read before, and B, that just kind of summed up what I feel about it, and that's it. So the narrator his name's Oliver or Ollie. His best friend's name is Eli. This is pretty close. His brother's name is Frankie. This is pretty close to the beginning of the book, and at this point in the story, he's 11 years old, and we're just kind of working out who he is. So here we go. Superheroes. It's kind of hard to talk about playing superheroes without sounding like a little kid or a chum, let alone playing superheroes with my best friend Eli. Not everyone can understand what being a superhero is really all about. Superheroes is pretty basic. Mainly what superheroes amounts to is me and Eli pretending we are superpowered comic book heroes, like mutants from the X-Men or the Super Friends, extraordinary young men born with gifts and abilities that separate us from mere mortals. It's our main game since we were little kids, running around the neighborhood that we pretend was New York City or Atlantis under the sea or outer space. Sometimes we have a secret base of operations that always turns out to be Demon Rock down in the swamp. But we had adventures, which means we pretended they were imaginary bad guys that we had to fight. And almost always, I got captured, of course. Which is to say, Aquaboy got captured and then needed to be rescued. Yeah, I know, kid stuff, chump bait. But it's important. If I'm gonna tell you what happened, how it all ended so terribly, you need to know the details, the setup. You need to know who Aquaboy was before you can understand what it meant for him to die. Before Eli became a sophomore in high school, before my knee accident, Eli and me, we loved to play superheroes. Someone like Eli, so bright and together all the time, you'd think he would choose to be someone like Superman, because Superman is the strongest and can fly and does everything super. But Eli wasn't that kind of person. He said Superman was a Nazi who only makes things safe for people who have the right skin color or make a certain amount of money. And even though Superman can fly so fast he can travel back in time and push the planets out of orbit, which is the coolest superpower ever, by the way, no way would Eli ever be Superman. Eli decided a long time ago not to copy any of the cartoons or comic books. Eli decided we needed to be original. Eli decided we were going to make up our very own superhero identities. Eli said, we get to be our own gods. So Eli chose Buckskin. That's the name he made up, Buckskin. Buckskin was this Indian guy, Cherokee, Eli said, or Apache, who can have any power that any animal has. And Buckskin ain't gonna be no goddamn pussy like that Indian on the bogus Super Friends cartoon, Eli said. Fucking Apache chief. Superman and Wonder Woman always have to save the day. Apache pussy chief always does whatever they say. He only gets to use his power once an episode for something really stupid, like growing big as an elephant so people can climb down him like a stepladder to escape danger. I mean, saving people is okay, but how come he never gets to land the winning punch? Fucking pussy. Eli spit into the mud. Before Eli's favorite words were dude and bogus and pussy, before high school, Eli's favorite things to say were how Buckskin talked, how his powers worked. Buckskin's words were Eli's magic spell. Eagle of the mountain, lend me your wings. Or monkey of the jungle, lend me your climbing. That's how Buckskin's powers work. All he had to do was ask nature for his powers. Eli would crack me up with Buckskin too, saying stuff like, squirrel of the resi, lend me your nuts. Or Ollie of the loony bin, lend me $100. Eli called my family the loony bin whenever I told him stories about what went on in our house, like how Granny was numb and kind of crazy and how she lived in the basement and wasn't allowed upstairs, or how drunk Mother got at Thanksgiving last year and tried to puke out the window but couldn't get the window open in time and wound up spraying all over the glass. I'm not supposed to talk about my family like that. Mother always said our secrets had to stay secrets or else they wouldn't be secrets. Don't air your dirty laundry, Mother said. When I told Eli that Mother said that, he just shrugged like it was obvious and said, see, Ollie, a bunch of loonies. If you don't air your dirty laundry, how are you going to get it clean? best part of playing superheroes was how Eli didn't try to make me feel like a chump for living in the loony bin or having such lame powers. I wanted to be like my favorite superhero of all, Aquaman. Sure, I could have been Aqualad, but I wanted to be original, so I made up Aquaboy. But let's face it, Aquaboy isn't exactly the strongest superhero on the block, or the smartest, or the bravest. Aquaboy can breathe underwater and talk to fish. And according to Eli, Buckskin could have all Aquaboy's powers just by asking for them, so that made him way stronger and more powerful than me. But Eli liked that I knew who I was, and that I stayed with it no matter what anyone else said. You have to know who you are, Ollie, my man. So what if you're a chump? I think it's cool you're working with what you got. I think it's cool you make up your own superhero. I think it's cool you get to be your own god. And Eli flashed those perfect white teeth, his superhero smile, and he winked at me, and man, the way that smile and wink made me feel like Eli's super pal. We could have been superheroes playing together forever back in the swamp, and I wouldn't ever